Cherry Blossom Kiss, a Bakugou X-Reader fanfiction. Putting on your shoes, you rush out of the door. The semi-cold spring air hit your face, making you shudder slightly. It wasn't particularly cold outside, but it wasn't warm enough to go out without a jacket either. A flurry of pink leaves slowly drifted down with the wind along the path that you walked every day. You heard footsteps behind you, so you turned around. Coming up behind you, you saw an angry blonde who passed you every morning. "Hey Bakugou," he said with a sweet smile. The ash blonde mumbled something and sped up his pace, passing you by. You shrugged it off. It's not like this didn't happen every time the boy interacted with you. You took it as him just being an asocial person. Putting in your earbuds, you continued your walk to school. Spring was the season of new life, love, and warmer weather. You passed by a tree which held a nest with 3 little baby birds, a lake with ducks with little ducklings swimming around. All in all, the world was filled with new life. Since the weather got warmer, people went outside for walks more, so it was pretty busy on the street for it being so early. You waved at your neighbor who happened to cycle past and greeted the old lady who worked at the flower shop. You joined in the stream of people walking into the large school gates. People had switched to the short versions of their uniform to prevent getting too hot during the long days. Being part of the Baku squad, you all walked to class together, so when they caught up to you, you all walked to the lockers to switch your shoes. As you opened your locker, however, a light pink envelope dropped on the ground. You furrowed your brows and picked it up. "Wan, hurry up, you're gonna be late for class," Mina said, yanking you along by your arm. Right, I'll just read it in class," you thought, stuffing the envelope into your bag. Mina continued pushing you through the groups of students all the way to the classroom, in which All Might was already waiting. The lesson Foundational Hero Studies was boring, but this was nothing new. When you put your books down, you quickly slid the envelope into it so no one would see you reading it. The letter inside seemed to have been written pretty hastily, as the handwriting was slightly messy. "Please meet me at the cherry blossom tree at the back of the school after class. I have something to tell you." "Oh, do I smell a confession coming?" Mina giggled next to you. Apparently, she saw you reading the letter, which was more like a note than a letter, but still. "Shut up, Mina, you're gonna get us in trouble if you keep talking so loud," you sneered at the girl, whacking the back of her head. Your face was flushed pink as almost everyone stared at the two of you. "Everything all right, young YN?" All Might said with a small smile. Yeah, don't worry about it," you stuttered. "Anyone on your mind who it might be from?" Mina whispered quietly this time. Your mind went over all the people in your class. There wasn't anyone particular, but there was someone who you hoped it was from, but you'd never tell her that. She'd probably not be able to keep quiet, and before you could continue your train of thought, you felt a poke on your shoulder. You looked up to see it was Mina, who was still expecting an answer. Your eyes dart over to a certain blondie who seemed to be staring out of the window with an annoyed look on his eyes. There's no way someone like him would have feelings, especially for someone like you, right? Mina curiously looked in the direction your eyes darted to. "Do you perhaps hope it's the angry Pomeranian of our class?" she teased. You gave her an angry glare, hoping it would shut her up. She wasn't wrong. You'd liked the angry blonde ever since you'd seen him fight at the entrance exam. Something about him sparked your interest, and ever since then, you'd barely been able to keep your mind off of him. You shrugged everything off and decided to just follow the lesson. You couldn't afford failing this class. It was like the minutes crawled by. Never had class gone by this slowly. You let out a sigh of relief as the bell finally rang. Students left the classroom one by one, joining in the larger crowd outside. You grabbed your stuff and decided it was now or never. As you were walking up to the tree, you failed to see anyone there. You started getting anxious. What if this was all just a prank, a big joke that would cause people to laugh at you and tease you? You gulped. This was probably a bad idea anyways. There's no way someone like you would get liked by people, right? That's what your mind settled on. As you were about to turn around and go back inside to eat your bento, a voice called out to you. Hey dumbass, over here. You immediately recognized the voice to be Bakugou's. That was when you saw him standing under the tree. You walked over. The wind started picking up and pink leaves falling down surrounded the both of you. Your face was bright red. It was like a scene in a movie or maybe even a dream. Bakugou hesitated for a second, but then grabbed your hands. Listen, I know this is as cliche as possible, but I really like you. You're one of the most amazing people I've ever met. You get along with almost everyone, and whenever you speak to me, my stomach fills with butterflies. He looked into your eyes. You leaned in and slowly kissed him. This is what you'd been dreaming of for weeks now. Bakugou kissed back, even though he was a little surprised at the sudden move. Spring truly is a wonderful season.